Krissie, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm so delighted to be able to hold this conversation with you today.
I'm wonderful. I'm so happy as well to be able to do this with you.
I've been wanting to do this for quite a while,
I
actually.
know, we've talked about it for so long.
Yes, and I'm very privileged to be a dear friend of yours. You're my dear friend, and I'm just delighted that we can do this after knowing you for so long. And one of the things, I guess, in my work that I do, as you know, it's about community support and community work, and being able to, how can I say, to validate, to acknowledge, to celebrate those integrants of our community who work to support the community. And so you've been doing that for many, many years. And so, and as we go along, we can kind of share some experiences together in terms of your role, and have you supported me as well as the community. And perhaps if we can start with how long has Krissie Westwood been around?
Probably started in Australia about 35 years ago.
Right.
It's a long time.
That's a long time, absolutely, yes.
I never thought when I first opened that I would still be so successful for so many years.
Yes. And what's the secret? So first of all, what got you there? What was it? What was the inspiration? What was the light bulb moment?
I think it was because when I came over from England, I'd worked for many years on British TV, and then we emigrated to Australia, and I started working there, and there was nothing in Australia that was able to give talent of all ages and all nationalities work. So my main passion back then was the grooming and deportment and the classes side of things, which I always loved, but also there was nothing that gave talent the opportunity to be able to get work. So that's when I opened the Krissie Westwood Model and Casting Agency, and started off very, very small, and it just went from strength to strength.
That's amazing.
And I think the fact that we just get so many people jobs, and it's not just that side of the agency, it's the teaching side. And the side that gives children of all ages, from tiny tots through to adults, the confidence and poise to have a successful life. And I love seeing, or I have done over the years, seeing so many people come into me that have no confidence. And that side of it is very important. A lot of people think that modelling is about just glamorous, strutting up and down the stage on a bikini. That's only nothing like what we really do.
Yes, and that's one of the things that captured my attention. And this is as a mental health practitioner, family therapist, working with families, providing therapy to families, individuals, couples. I work extensively with young people as well. And one of the things that inspired me about your work was that your ability, because in your work you have different, I guess, subsections of your work.
Yes.
So you do casting, you do modeling, and you also do deployment. So you're able to teach students, whether they're at TAFE or high school or any other groups, to support them in gaining confidence in themselves. And so that's the thing that grabbed my attention. In working with so many young people, and particularly these days, as you would know, how hard it is when we are very much with in your face with Facebook and the media, and the image that we have of ourselves, and constantly comparing with each other. But one of the things I appreciate and value about you, Krissie, is that your ability to acknowledge and celebrate uniqueness. And even when I captured you saying earlier, I wanted to do something, you said that was capturing the diversity of the community members, and I really appreciated that, as you know, very much. And I work with diverse settings, diverse cultures. And so that's one of the things I really value about your work. And I recall, in fact, when I was managing women's health services.
Yes, I
a few
remember
years
that.
ago, I was coordinating this project that was called, I'm going to try and remember the name of it, but it was called something along the lines of self-esteemed women, self-empowered women.
Yes.
So it was actually with a group of mothers and daughters, and trying to bring connection with each other. So trying to really integrate those ideas about connection, and also these stories, they came from intergenerational trauma, in fact. And so there was a group of mother and daughters who came from vulnerable settings. They're quite vulnerable, and a lot of trauma and violence in the past. So I remember coordinating this program, and I was so delighted when you said yes when I asked you if you could be part of this project. So which took, I think it was over a year and a half perhaps in length. And we were able to set up workshops about confidence, about self-esteem, about self-acknowledgement, and all of those things, validation. And then we were also talking about connection and how do we reconnect with family members and parents and children, how can they enhance their connection with each other. And so we held workshops in that way. And then we had another part of it, which was designing the outfits that they were going to wear.
Yes.
And then you came along and you were able to teach this mother and daughter duo, the whole team, to go up and down the catwalk.
And we did a parade
yes,
at the
that's
health
right.
department.
And we finished, that's
With a
right, we
parade.
finished it was amazing.
It was
well
wonderful.
attended, and it was in the Perth City Hall,
Yes.
actually the town hall.
Yes, it was.
It was the most unique
What I thought
event.
was amazing about that was to see mothers and daughters come together and have the confidence to do the choreographed parade, and have I was comparing it, and to see the confidence in the mother and daughters as they walked down the catwalk was fantastic.
Absolutely.
It was really wonderful.
And the feedback that you received too.
Oh, I
know
did,
There was
yes.
a lot of positive feedback.
Yes,
that you
it was the fact that you gave people something that they didn't feel they could have. And I think low self-esteem and not having the confidence to feel good about yourself, that's what changed their lives. And I did get a lot of fantastic feedback.
Yes.
And it was wonderful to work with you.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, because that's one of part of the feedback in my report that I wrote, I recall. The relationship enhancement between mother and daughter increased exponentially. And the ability to be more confident, because these are people who had suffered a lot of trauma. And so to be able to be in there and be confident and be able to wear their own designs that they did themselves, and to be able to just go with so much confidence, present themselves, and the connection, we were able to measure the level of connection between parent and child, mother and daughter, and it was amazing. The outcomes were amazing.
I remember to begin with, they were saying to me, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do it. And then within a couple of weeks, they were all enjoying it and getting excited about it. So it was a wonderful, very, very rewarding.
That's beautiful. And so as part of this, because I recall you doing a lot of your work also involves you going to schools and TAFEs and be able to do deportment and
Yes,
teach the students to prepare them for interviews, prepare them for the next stage, I guess.
yes,
From school, from studies into the workplace, into the workforce. And so you're able to support them through this process.
Yes.
As part of the journey.
I think job interview skills are very, very important.
Yeah.
A lot of people have incredible skills, but if they don't know how to go through a job interview and they don't know the basics that it takes, I've had so many students over the years contact me and say, thank you, I do remember that I shouldn't be chewing gum at an interview, or I should be looking at the interview, little things like that they remember. So it's very, very rewarding.
It's wonderful. Because in this day and age, as I was saying, you know, it's really hard to, kids are constantly comparing with each other.
Yes.
And young people are constantly comparing, and adults as well. We're very much in the media, and it's about that situation where we're constantly thinking, are we good enough? Mm-hmm. And so these classes, this process will help them develop that confidence and be able to feel okay in their own skin.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really important too with the social media and children and teenagers just constantly on their phone and not really learning the skills to be able to communicate with people and to be able to have a conversation, because everything is on the phone. And I think that's very sad. You only have to go into a restaurant and see parents having a lovely meal and the children are all together on social media. So I think it's very, very important for children to learn skills from an early age of communication.
And this is the beauty of this process,
Mm-hmm.
doing so, because children and young people are losing the skills how to do that, because they're constantly in that they're kind of in this bubble, in this kind of idea that they see as reality, which is not reality, and so they copy and paste into their own lives how to relate, how to engage, how to interact with others, and then they realize this is actually not a realistic way of doing it. So they're kind of, so you take it into the process of how to engage with each other and how to interact with each other, because I do believe also your whole communication skills and all those kind of skills that the students, the people that attend your classes are able to do.
Yes, I think it's very, very important that children and adults learn to be able to communicate face to face instead of just on a phone or sending texts, and the world's just become, children don't know how to communicate anymore. And in a lot of things I do, I say you have to turn your phone off. And you're like, oh, how could I turn my phone off? You know, it's like they're glued to the phone and they're not learning the skills that they have to interact with other people.
So it's a great opportunity to be reminded of those things.
Definitely.
Because I know in my work, a lot of people, in the work that I do with families or individuals or couples, it's really a challenge to know how to interact, because they've got this idea of this reality that they see in the media, and then the so-called reality, and then they realize in the real world that's not how you interact. So kids are suffering as a result of that.
Yes.
And young people are suffering because they realize, I want to be in relationship. We all want to be in relationship. Mm-hmm. We want to have a sense of belonging, but we don't know how to do that, because it's kind of with, of course, with AI, we're having all this idea about the machine-based ways of relating, and that's actually not realistic. It's about being able to interact with each other.
Most definitely. And I think that's a very, very important skill that children need to learn at an early age. That it's not just sitting them down and giving them a phone or giving them an iPad to look at because you want to go and talk, or you want to have a conversation with someone else. So to keep the child quiet, you give them a phone or an iPad. I think it's very, very important they learn to communicate and have skills like that, and have the confidence to be able to interact. And also what I find is amazing is that so many people want me to teach their children manners. Like, I think manners are something that need to be learned at home, but when they're not, like grooming and deportment and etiquette and manners, they're all things that aren't old-fashioned, They're things that are now in the world, like a thank you, and may I help you, and little things like that. They haven't gone out of fashion.
Yes.
They're still very, very important.
Extremely valid, more than ever before. In
Yes.
fact,
Very.
we're needing it very much, but we are forgetting this because kids are not taught how to do that. It's kind of the sense of organicity is not there, and so we're losing that. So I think it's really important, especially with this day and age with artificial intelligence. Everything is machinery oriented and space, and it's sad. So we're losing touch of that. So I feel, and that was one of the reasons as well. I wanted to have a chat with you today because I wanted to emphasize and highlight the importance of relating and communicating, and children and young people and adults feeling confident in their own skin and being able to know how to relate, because we all want to be part of it. Now, what are your plans in terms of, are you still going to be doing some high school or TAFE or university?
I'm very busy. I think COVID stopped a lot of things, and now that's over. I'm still very, very busy, and I'm amazed that each week something different comes up. So one week I might be doing casting, the next day it might be a workshop, the next day it might be a school, the following week. But I think that I'm very, very good, I have a lot of very good children around me and a lot of good teenagers. So there's a lot of words put out there that teenagers are like this or children are like that. But I think I'm very lucky to be surrounded by a lot of very good and very confident children and teenagers. But I still do, I could do classes every day of the week for grooming and deportment and modelling and things like that. And I think it's, while I can still do it and I'm still getting asked to do it, I'm going to keep on doing it.
Fantastic. I'm glad.
I'm not stopping anytime soon.
I'm glad. Can you give me a bit of a sense of what would be perhaps the most, how can I say, the feedback that you've received from young people, whether it's at school, something that stuck with you? Because I know one of them that you shared with me was about that project that I did, and that was, you were almost in tears from the feedback from this young person who hadn't seen her mother for a long time, for example, and yet this project that we worked on that had brought them closer, and she had a better sense of self and connection, and brought her and her mother closer as well.
That was actually something that we did together, which is not something I do on a daily basis, and so I was very honoured to be asked to do it. It was a very emotional time, because some of the mothers and the daughters made me cakes, and they brought me in things that were amazing. And I think I have the ability to be able to get onto anyone's level. So when they were telling me their problems and their issues, and I thought the saddest thing was some of their the violence that some of them had suffered, the women, and I was absolutely astounded at where they came from, and the children that were involved. So for me, that was more rewarding than doing 10 shows and being able to see those children come to me and put their arms around me and say, thank you, you changed my life.
Yes.
And we did.
Yes.
We did.
Exactly.
It was the side that you did.
Yes.
And the side that I did. I didn't think I was as patient as you were with the other family members, but I found it very, very rewarding to be able to do that. And a lot of schools that I go into, one of the things I do is a one-on-one at the end of the grooming and deportment, so that the student can come to me and have a one-on-one talk to me. And they often bring up things that they're concerned about and things that are happening to them. and I'm just absolutely amazed at some of the things that they are able to tell me, and I'm able to help them with, and that's, you know, very, very rewarding.
Beautiful.
And there's so many students that have been through the agency that are now so successful, absolutely so successful, and gain so much confidence and poise. And I think most of all, ambition in life. Instead of saying I can't, I always say just try.
And finding new ways of seeing themselves.
Yes.
Too, isn't it? That's the key thing here.
Yes.
It's about finding new work. We are not going to copy and paste you as a person. There's no replica of you. I often say that to the young people I work with. This is you, and you want to celebrate, you want to acknowledge, and your uniqueness. And so I guess in the work that you do and the work that we collaborated with, which I'm very grateful that we were part of it, we were able to do that. So that's, I like to be able to provide an opportunity in the community for us to do that often. And you raised something interesting just before. This is something about children. Often with young people, we have this, this misconception, and I do feel sad about this, very sad, that young people, they're lost. They're people that are lost, and they're either criminals or commit offenses. They're not all like that. We all have had kids, and that's not the case.
Oh no.
It's about being able to capture and connect with them in a way that is going to capture their attention, and a way that is validating and connecting. So these kind of projects and things do a world of good for these young people, for themselves, and also for themselves and other people, including their peers, within their school system and within their home system. So I really value your work, and I hope you continue to do that for a while to come.
I want to be doing it forever.
That's fantastic. I've got one last question to ask.
What is that?
I wonder if you could come up with, or you can share, your word of wisdom. You've been doing this for about 40 years or something.
35.
35 years. That's a long time.
It is.
So you're taking a whole pile of young people, from tots, as you said, to teenagers, to adults, and with the moms as well. As we've talked about. And so I wonder what you could say that could give that piece of feedback about Krissie Westwood wisdom.
Oh dear, that's really put me on the spot. Wisdom, I think, never give up. Never give up. Nobody can get up in the morning and just say, I'm beautiful. I don't need to put an effort into the day. I can just be myself, whether that's miserable, angry, or whatever. I think you have to get up every morning, no matter what is wrong with you or what has happened. No one has every day as a happy day. So I think you have to get up every day and put effort into that day. You can't just get up and say, oh, well, that's me, I'm going to just get through life. You have to really put effort into every day. And the other thing is, don't say, no, I can't. I always want people to say, well, I can try. Not just, I can't. So many people say, I can't. And be reliable. Be reliable to people, because nobody wants to give anybody a second and third chance if you let them down so many times. So be reliable and realize that you must put effort into everything you do in life. You've got to get up and give everything your best, and think. My best thing every day is to think 5 positive things. So when you get up in the morning, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to think 5 positive things to start your day with. And I think that's probably what I feel.
Beautiful.
And while I can keep getting so many jobs in for so many people, and such a diverse variety of people, and when you are successful at something, why would you ever stop it or give it up? And when I've got beautiful friends like you.
Krissie, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Daisy. It's been
It's
wonderful.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.